Hello, guys. Now we're going to be starting with Satya Anand, and it's the Pandora star. So this is a meditation light. So she'll tell you a little bit more about it, but it's pretty awesome because I've done it before.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Satya Anand, and I have the Pandora star that you can see right next to me. Let's see, where do I start? Let's make sure I got good time. 12:30.
Let me turn this around so they can see the star. There you are.
So I'll give you a little bit of background of my experience with the Pandora star. The first time that I discovered the Pandora starlight, I was actually at there's a big Kundalini yoga festival that goes on in the mountains of Espanola during the summer. So it's the summer solstice sadhana celebration. And they have a big tent where there's different healers and people selling their services and their goods. And I met a couple from Australia, and they had a Pandora star, and I walked by and there was someone sitting there with their eyes closed with this light kind of flashing in their face, and I was like, what is this thing? This is kind of weird. And so I was talking to the woman Cian, and she was telling me a little bit about it, and then she offered me to try it out for 10 minutes. And so I sat down in the chair, and they gave me a pair of headphones that had some like really pretty binaural beat music playing. And they told me to close my eyes, and so I sat there, and I think I was only there for about 10 or 15 minutes. And I just had just a really, really beautiful experience of, I think I was like flying over the ocean, like imagining that I was a bird. And so what it does is it just kind of, with the light and the sound, it just kind of puts you into your own world of whatever your brain creates for you. And so what the light does is it stimulates the pineal gland. And so, the pineal gland secretes melatonin and serotonin and DMT. And so that's kind of how we experience those kind of spiritual, psychedelic, out-of-body experiences. And so when I was finished with my 10-15 minute session, I got up and I walked out of the tent, and by that time the sun had gone down, and I had a friend who was standing maybe like 15 feet away, and I saw him, and I started walking towards him, and then I got about 5 feet away from him, and he literally jumped back he like threw his hands up in the air, and he jumped back, and he was like, oh my God, you look so bright, like you look like an angel, because I was just glowing from this light session. And I was just like, yeah, I just did this thing, and it was really cool. It was kind of weird, but I feel really great, and it just made me feel like energized but relaxed and clear and calm, just perfect. Like the only way I could describe it was that I felt how I was supposed to be. And so walking away from that experience, I was like, man, I have to get one of these things, and I have to share it with everyone that I know because of just how good it made me feel. And so that was about 2 years ago. And this past May, I invested in the Pandora star. It's not cheap. It's about $5,500, but it's definitely worth it. And since I've purchased it, I've been sharing it with friends and family. And recently started sharing it at events and yoga studios. I'm now at Enlightened Wellness. It's a flotation, sensory deprivation flotation tank massage wellness center, and so we're combining the massage and the flotation tanks now with the Pandora Star light therapy. And so it's a really unique experience. Everyone has a completely unique experience to their own. For those who are like avid meditators, who kind of meditate all the time and who are used to being in that very deep, relaxed, meditative state, it just kind of helps bring them to the next level of their meditation. But for those who don't meditate and who find it difficult to meditate and who have a lot of stress in their lives, this is really great because what it's doing is it's working on your brain wave frequency. And so the frequency of the light the frequency of your brain is synchronizing to the frequency of the light. And so it's inducing you into those alpha, theta, and delta brain waves. And so alpha is when like you're relaxed and you're alert. Theta is when you're relaxed and maybe you're in a deep meditative state. The mind is very calm. And then delta is when you're asleep or you're dreaming. And so it just sends you into those deep meditative, kind of dreamy, going in and out of like a dream-like state of consciousness. And so I've had people have out-of-body experiences where they're flying around above the earth. I've had people have really profound insights about aspects of their lives that they were really struggling with. I've had, people just experience a feeling of relaxation that they haven't felt in a really long time, just because of how much stress they experience in their life, and that it's hard for them to even be able to even just begin to meditate, to begin to de-stress. The Pandora star is for everybody. I've had pregnant women go under the light. They've really enjoyed it. I've had kids. I've had elderly people. My mom thoroughly enjoys it. And so there's over 60 different programs on here. And they have different names like, Relax. And my friend over here, he just went on a light journey with a session called Earthly. And so maybe in a minute I'll have him come over here and he can tell you about how that was for him. Who the light is not for are those who experience like light sensitivity, who they're very sensitive to light, and then also who have a history of seizures. So those are kind of the only two cases where it wouldn't be good for you to try. So maybe I'll have my friend over here come and tell you about his light journey that he just experienced.
It was a super powerful journey. I've experienced this before in the past or something similar to it, but it was just so deep. I felt myself going into like a really deep, dreamy, relaxed state. And then I remembered like the guidance of the meditation to really like breathe that light into my heart. And so I was like breathing it in, and then it was like stepping into this deep, powerful visionary space of just like all this like fractaling sacred geometry like flowing and like activating in my heart, and feeling that light like moving and healing all the cells of my body. And then just like naturally as the session like came nearer to a close, I even and it was like the Earthly session, I didn't realize that was the name of the session, but I felt myself rooting in deep, and it was like all of this light that had been coming in was like rooting in, and I felt myself in this super light, just like filled, relaxed, energized space, but simultaneously really grounded. And so a really powerful experience with it.
Yeah, and so part of the service that I offer with the Pandora Star is I talk to you beforehand and kind of getting an idea of where you're at within your life and within your process, and having you set an intention of what area of your life you would like to direct this light into your life. And I also provide you with a breath technique and a visualization to help enhance the experience. And so my mentor, Richard, who lives in Australia, what he says is that the light from the Pandora star also charges the water molecules within the body. And so before you do a light journey, I call them light journeys, a light session, you drink, a cup of water so that you're adding more water to the cells of your body, and then afterwards you drink more water. And so what I also do is, I'll get a big 5-gallon jug of water, and then I'll aim the light at it, and I'll put the water under the light for a good 20 to 30 minutes so that it's charging the water molecules. And then I'll drink it, and then I will also feel charged and energized. So I guess we can open it up to any questions. If anybody has any questions or anything they're curious about. And I'm back here in this room, the second door to the left. Yes.
Why is the star kind of? It looks like a Star of David that's like turned on its side. Is that intentional, or does it rotate?
Yeah, so I mean, I can hook it onto here also. It's sacred geometry with the Star of David, but with it being on its side, I can also put this right here. So I guess it would still be, this way, whichever way you turn it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it was designed that way.
It doesn't matter how it's positioned; it's still the same geometric.
Right.
However you view it upside down, sideways, it's got the same.
Right.
Is that right?
And so this is not the actual light. When it's turned on, it's like 100 times brighter, and it flashes with a flickering light. So this is it on kind of like a standby. But when it's on, it's very, very bright, and it's flashing. Yeah, so if you want to give it a try, I'll be back here. So.
Feels good from here.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess if there's not any more questions, yes. So we're doing 20 minutes, but I usually spend a few minutes before and then a few minutes afterwards. So you'll be under the light anywhere between 10 and 14 minutes.
And at the studio, what do you charge for a session?
At the studio right now, we're doing $45 for 30 minutes, but with that price, it's like a 2-for-1. So you're paying $45 and you're getting your first session for 30 minutes, and then your second session will be 40 minutes. But just for today, we're doing, kind of shorter increments of time. So, yeah, it's a very powerful healing and meditation device. So it's really, really unique. Okay, well, I guess I'll close. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it. And no questions? Okay, alrighty. Thank you.